No, you read that right. That's not a typo. In spite of what you may believe about me, there are actually some things I like about Samsung and Android overall that even Apple can't replicate. But don't worry, I'm not switching anytime soon. The length of this video should tell you something. As you are all probably aware of by now, though partially, I am openly biased towards Apple. But here's where the partially part comes in. Today I want to talk about the things that I actually like about Android and Samsung, but especially Samsung. And let's get one thing clear here. Android would be absolutely nothing without Samsung. But what about Google and their Pixel line of hardware running stock Android? You call that innovation? Something that unquestionably should have just been done in the first place anyways? I've met people with Pixels who've told me their Samsung Galaxies felt more like stock Android than stock Android. Samsung is doing all the heavy lifting for Google, whether anyone wants to admit that or not. So I'll mainly be talking about Samsung today. I mean, heck, about half the things inside your iPhone are supplied to Apple by Samsung. Though I personally never thought that was a good argument to like Samsung. That's like saying because rockets are made of steel, steel suppliers landed man on the moon, even though the real effort was obviously from the builders of the rockets. What? It literally makes no sense. But I digress. If Apple didn't exist, Samsung would absolutely dominate everyone else. And to be completely honest with you, they already kinda do. As much as I love my iPhone, I gotta admit, Apple doesn't have a very soft cushion to fall back on once they start running out of ideas. Which might be sooner than some people think. If Apple's not careful, they might run out of business by the time I start forgetting what I had for breakfast. But you know who does have a feathery cushion to glide softly on? The answer may shock you, but it's actually Samsung. Think about it. What does Apple sell to people to rely on for financial gain, to keep them afloat? Consumer electronics. But what does Samsung have to rely on for revenue?
Oh man.
Computers, tablets, phones, washing machines, dryers, dishwashers, refrigerators, monitors, TVs, microwaves, ovens, air conditioners, cameras, wrong one. Speakers, chips, watches, blenders, vacuum cleaners, light bulbs, printers, thermostats, smart tags, smart trash cans, VR headsets, and foldables. Just to name a few. And to a certain extent, they basically own the infrastructure to each of the products listed. Let that sink in. Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Apple, on the other hand, is dancing on thin ice. Though I'd argue they're professional performers from the freaking Olympics, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. At least, for now. The utter irony of all this is in the unlikely event Apple does go out of business and needs help to stay alive, I could honestly see Samsung buying them out. Not necessarily that Samsung would need them, but hey, the colossal fan base of people ready to shell out another grand for an iPhone would definitely be another revenue stream of free cash they'd want. Another thing I really like about Samsung is that they steal from Apple. No, that's a good thing. As long as it's good things they steal for their customers, I see that as a win. Remember, good artists copy, but great artists steal. Their UI is satisfyingly ripped straight out of the Apple handbook, yet impressively has its own unique style that really sticks out. I seriously think Samsung did a really good job on this, and eases my mind in the event I ever switch over. The next thing is more of something I appreciate than actually like, and that's the foldables. As ridiculously expensive and almost useless as they are for me, I could see a market enjoying it, albeit a more obstinate market, but a market nonetheless. And as little sense as it makes to me, it can eventually find its way in other tech someday. For example, I could totally see it being used for something like TVs or monitors. But phones, I'm sorry, but it's just not worth it to me. But hey, I'm glad someone else out there can enjoy them in spite of how I feel about them. Next up, getting new technology first. If I had a nickel for how many times Fandroids told Apple users they got features years before iPhone, I'd probably be living in Miami Beach by now. As cool as this is, and I do completely agree that it is something to give props to Samsung for, there's a bit of a give and take with this. Yes, you do get new technology first before anyone else does, but that also means you get new problems before anyone else does. And personally, I'd rather just wait until someone irons out the kinks a little later than owning a device that could be a ticking time bomb of problems waiting to go off. Literally. But if you're willing to put up with that, then go for it, because no other company even comes close to adopting next-gen technology than Samsung. Okay, now we've reached the last thing. You all knew this was coming.
Customization.
It's good. I'm glad you like it. I just really don't care. And frankly, I don't think I'm alone in this. Yes, it is nice to have those features to use if you want them, but if your company is selling you simplistic phones while also allowing you to fine-tune it however you want to make it, in my humble opinion, that completely defeats the whole purpose of what their intended experience was in the first place. Which is why I think Apple never makes it a priority. I mean, hell, even when iOS 14 finally brought us users widgets, I fiddled around with it for about 5 seconds and quickly changed my home screen back to the way it was before. before. Maybe it's just me, but if anything, it actually kind of feels less customizable, because now you have crap to keep track of. Have you ever tried opening an Asphalt game ever?
What? No, I don't want a tutorial. I know how to play video games. Quit race. How about that? What do you think of that? Congratulations, you received these cards. Well done, driver. You didn't... Skip! Like, it's not even that much time. That was less than a minute, but it felt like 10 because it's so unnecessary. Holy crap, is this the same? Whatever, I don't even care. I'm not even gonna do it.
It's already complicated enough just to manage some apps alone. I don't need a health widget screen constantly reminding me that I should probably get out more. But yet again, I digress. And if by some miracle you enjoy juggling your thoughts and balancing your ideas while ordering takeout, you know what? I commend you. But it's just not for me. Well, there you have it. Those are the things I actually really like about Samsung. So now begs the question you were all wondering from the start. What would Samsung need to do to switch me over from iOS?
Nothing! Now get out! What?
Simple. They would need to announce that they've been working on their own operating system separate from Google's Androids for years. Long enough to already have like 90% of their apps optimized for it. So we're talking 3 to 5 years at least. They'd also need to fix up their ecosystem a bit to work better now that it's no longer in a stranglehold by the hands of Google's Android. Neither of which will ever happen. And even if it does, there's no guarantee that they'll get it right. Google themselves are actually a prime example of this. And all of this assuming they let you have like 5 to 7 years of software support like Apple. But seriously though, I really am genuinely grateful friendly competition exists for a company like Samsung to exist. Even outside of the phone and tablet market, they make some pretty killer hardware. I mean, have you seen their TVs? And with all that said, if you'd like to support the channel, we now have merch. A pretty limited selection of items at the moment, but I promise we'll be expanding our variety very soon. Thank you for watching and have a great day.